that vaulting zombie would have easily gone through because the pea shooter was not strong enough to stop it. We still have a couple of open lanes where there are no tall nuts. Okay, we need one in that fourth lane, and let's put a repeater there. Okay, so far nothing very difficult. It's just the regular cone zombies and the normal zombies, along with some Walters, but nothing we can't handle. I think once we turn the repeaters into Gatling peas along with the torchwood, we are going to have a very powerful line of damaging plants. Okay, the tall nut in the first line is almost done. Should we repair it or we just plant something on it? So let's go with the Gatling zombie there. I don't know if we can produce enough sun to plant enough Gatling zombies. We may never even get to use the spike rock, but anyway, let's see how far we can get. So that one torchwood, the middle lane, or doubles the damage of our pea shooters and the repeaters. So I think along with the Gatling pea, if we plant it there, it will do massive amounts of damage. But I don't think we'll have enough time to test that out. Let's see, we need some more sun, and you can plant something there in the first lane, and in one volley all zombies are down. So that's how powerful that combo is. And we had a pea shooter to hit an extra shot as well, so there was that. A bag of coins, useful to buy some new things. So let's go level 7. Okay, so let's see. Crazy Dave gives us a coffee bean, a tall nut, and a jalapeno. Okay, we can definitely use the tall nut and the jalapeno, but the coffee bean would only be needed if we need to use it on a mushroom, and I really don't see the need of a mushroom. Normally I would have just taken the doom shroom, but since we already have the jalapeno, I don't know if it makes much sense to use a doom shroom as well. Anyways, let's see if we can get any open slot right now. Let's go with the sunflowers. Okay, what else can we take? Let's go with the snow pea. Okay, that's swell. Let's see. Okay, should we go with the doom shroom? Just try it along with the coffee bean. Okay, chomper. What else? What else can we take? Let's go with the pumpkin for some extra defense. Or maybe let's try the imitator and probably go for the tall nut. Yeah. So a sleeping mushroom has its benefits. Like you can just keep it behind something, and the sleeping doom shroom, it is like a manually activated bomb. So you can just place it, and when the right time comes, you can cause it to explode. Normally it explodes upon contact, but here we can do that. Since it's sleeping, it will not work. Once we use the coffee bean on it, whenever we want to, it just explodes. Let's try that. Okay, this time we have 3 waves. So let's try to get it done in 3 waves. So we should be able to manage enough sun considering the number of waves that will come in. Okay, let's just hope we produce sun fast enough to get that second snow pea. So we have another zombie coming in the first lane. We need 100 more sun to plant this snow pea there. So the good thing about the snow pea is just pauses the opponent in its tracks. It slows it down considerably to stop it. Okay, but this one is going to be a problem. You know what? I'll not go with the snow pea here. I'll just put a chomper. That should finish it off right away. Okay, a tall nut here should stop that guy. And now we can either go with the chomper or the snow pea to take care of him. And the crunching sound by the chomper signifies certain death for the zombie. So I think except the Gargantor, everybody else is a one shot for the chomper. So regardless of whether you have a bucket head, a cone head, a ladder, the chomper can make a meal out of you easily. So that one is going to be food for the chomper. But the second one would have been a bit of a problem. So that was the best thing to do. So this interesting of speedy Walter is now met with the slowing Snoopy. I guess the Snoopy wins, but anyway, let's put that Walter in. Okay, the Chomper was planted a bit late. Did not manage to actually do anything much. So I'm not going to use the Doom Shroom or Jalapeno at the first wave. Let's focus on building our plants first. We can try them out later. So that one is gone. Whoops. And the Walter is running straight towards impending doom. Chomp, gone. Okay, so what should we do now? Should we just plant another lane? Let's do that. There's not much else to do anyways. And then maybe we can clear out the chompers in the third lane and fill it with Snoopy. Okay. So row full of twin sunflowers. Now the sun production should be more speedy. Okay, that big wave is coming up. Okay, so one last normal wave before the big wave comes in. I think we can use the oops. Terrible placement. I wonder why that happened. Mm. So let's do this. Let's clean out the chompers from there and put in some more snow pea so that we have some ranged firing. Okay, let's try out the Doomshroom. So let's place it there, waiting for the right time. Yeah, and the entire wave is gone. Boom. So, you can just place it like a sleeping giant, and then it hits out at the right time once you put that coffee bean. And that crater there means that we cannot plant anything. But honestly, I don't see the need to plant anything there right now. We are in good shape. Let's just put a jalapeno since we have it handy. You don't really need more than one explosive plant in a level, but I would like to complete one level using only explosive plants. I think that would be something challenging. We can just put in sunflowers, and all the damaging plants should be the explosive plants. Maybe the potato mine, jalapeno. Then there is, of course, the doom shroom, cherry bomb. Just get all of them lined up. Try to finish it. We are collecting quite a lot of sun, so I think we can use a bunch of jalapenos. Of course, their production time is very slow. The cooldown is quite high. So the crater is slowly filling up as it does with time. Should be able to plant something there. Okay, so we now have 3 lanes of snow peas. They are slowing down the frontline zombies. Okay, so my imitator survived that attack, thankfully. So now we are quite towards the front line. So the third and the final wave is approaching soon. So that crater is cleared. Maybe we'll try it again in the same place. Yep, good done for. That was brilliant. Let's start level 8. So let's see what level 8 holds for us. Nothing good, I'm assuming. Okay, the bucket head makes a return. And what do we have now? Pumpkin, walnut, and a cabbage pult. Okay. So the cabbage pults are definitely much more useful in the rooftop stages than they are here. They do not do much damage and they're generally slow in attacking. The pea shooters are better, but since we have them now, let's make optimum use. Let's see what else should we take. Let's go back to the chompers. Okay, the bucket head is here. So okay, let's go with the spike beat spike rock combo this time. Let's use it. Okay, one last plant. What should we take? Maybe an explosive plant. Okay, I'll not go with the doom shroom this time. Let's go with the cherry bomb. Let's start. See, we have somebody in the chat. Hello, electrical longboard. I hope you're doing well. So let's get on. So try to put in as many sunflowers before the first zombie hits. Okay, here he is. So I think we usually get to 3 sunflowers before the first zombie waltz in. Okay, a cabbage pult right here. I think we'll need at least 3 lanes of cabbage pults if we have to do any kind of damage, because as you can see they are a bit slow so and not so strong, and since we have bucket heads coming in, we really need to have some good offense. But I think our chompers can take care of them, and we have pumpkins and walnuts in place, so shouldn't be much of a problem. We have only 2 waves this time. Let's try to get the walnuts in before the first wave hits, and maybe even the pumpkins. So that gives it kind of double defense. Both are a bit slow to build up. Oops, almost did not plant anything there. So the catapults are very slow, as you can see. I think if we had not planted that walnut there, we could have been in trouble. Hmm. Mm-hmm. The first wave is almost here. I think this is the last zombie before the first wave hits in. Let's try to get some chompers in before that first wave comes. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so the mandatory chomper in the first lane because of a certain bucket head standing right there. And crunch, gone. Okay, let's try to plant a few more cabbage pulls. And also spike rocks. I think it's time we build them. We did not use many in the last run, but I think we can give it a try this time. So let's start with the spike weeds and then move over to the spike rocks if we get enough time. There's only two waves, so I doubt if we will get that much time, but nothing wrong in trying to build up some basic defenses. So the second lane of cabbage pulse is done, and the enemies are going down much faster now, for sure. So spike weeds now on all lanes. Let's try and plant the third line of cabbage pults. Okay, that pumpkin is getting some heavy damage there. Thankfully, our chompers are as hungry as ever. Okay, here comes the final wave. Okay, let's blow that line off. Okay, there she blows. And again passed with not much difficulty. Okay, so let's go level 9. Okay, so it's the usual Walters, Coneheads, Bucketheads, the normal zombies, and this time we have the Walnut, the Repeater, and the Cabbage Pult. So let's initially start with the Cabbage Pult and then go for the Repeaters. So the walnuts are not going to be very useful here. We'll have to go with the tall nuts since we have Walters. Uh, what else can we stake? Let's see. Okay, let's go with the Chomper again. The Gatling P and yes, Mr. Torchwood. Welcome back to the team. Okay, let's go with the setup. Okay, so there's our sunflower number 1. Here's number 2. And here's the third one. And right on cue, zombie walks out. So there are 3 waves this time. So not really a very hard game. So right now I'm playing Adventure 2, which is a bit tougher than Adventure 1. But the basics are fairly easy. Once you get used to it, it is not that difficult. Of course, the later stages may cause some problems, but I think we can clear it. We just try it out a bit. Okay, now we really need to plant some tall nut, so we leave one for the repeater, and then the torchwood needs its place, and then finally we also need one lane for our chomper. So I think that's that. Oops, let's plant the walnut for temporary measures. Okay, so here comes the Walter, but the tall nut should stop him in its tracks. Okay. So the good thing is so far the Walters have come in lanes where we had tall nuts placed, so they could not cause much chaos. Let's try to get tall nuts in all lanes. The Walter loses its head, and so does the regular zombie. So he's the last zombie before the final wave hits in. I'm sorry, not the final wave, the first wave. We are still a couple of waves away. Okay, let's get rid of that walnut there and put a tall nut in its place. Let's try to get the repeaters up there before we move to anything else. Maybe a chomper in the lane where there's a bucket head approaching, since may take some time. And crunch, and that's it. So long, Mr. Buckethead. Okay. So one more repeater left, or should we just go with the chomper in that lane first? I think let's go with the chomper, since it's a bucket head. It can take out, the chomper can take it out in one shot, and it's gone. So we now have repeaters in all lanes. The final twin sunflower is planted as well. So our chompers in the second lane from the bottom swallowed his meal at the right time, because there's a bucket head approaching. So we have the second wave approaching soon, so maybe we can get the final chomper in place before that as well. That was done quite easily. Now let's turn the repeaters into Gatling peas, starting with this guy right here. So the second wave is coming in. Let's put in a few torchwoods as well. The torchwoods along with the repeaters and Gatling zombies should burn right through the opponents. I think we need one in the last lane because there are actually two bucket heads there. So the first bucket head can be dealt with by our chomper, but just for the second guy we need a fiery repeater. Let's see, let's try to plant one more Gatling because the cooldown is done. We are just waiting for the sun. Okay, so now things should get faster. We have a Gatling P along with the torchwood in lane 2, and maybe we can do the same in lane 4 as well. So let's try to get all Gatling Ps in place before the final wave sets in. Okay, so you can hear the sound of fire like a dragon breathing. So that's just the peas going through the torchwoods, turning into fireballs along the way and burning right through the zombies. And considering how much weak zombies are to fire, that must really hurt. Okay, let's try to plant some more since we have coin to spare. Okay, so the third wave, the final wave is going to set in. So I think we cannot get all repeaters to Gatling Peas, but we can at least try for the one. Let's see which lane we should use him in. Okay, definitely the first lane. And okay, a note. So let's continue. So again, the notes with bad handwriting and bad spelling. Hello, we are about to launch an all-out attack on your house. Sincerely, the zombies. Okay, let's start. Level 10. Okay, so the final level of the day stages. Let's try it. Okay, so what all do we have? The regulars, the Walters, the bucket heads, the cone heads, the regular zombies, all a year. So we get a snow right off the bat. should be able to slow down that zombie while the repeaters take care the other two. So quite some catchy music for the final level of the We'll keep the cherry bombs